Yeah. Then what do you think are some things that are either issues or things that most investment property buyers aren't thinking about? They get going on the deal, inspection comes.
Well, on smaller buildings, especially in this city, a lot of times the electrical feed is undersized, right? You might have a 6 or 8 unit building with 200 amp service and 6 or 8 air conditioning condensers that are all running at the same time in the summertime, and that's an undersized service, right? So a lot of folks don't realize that that's a significant expense. It could be 10, 15 grand or more to upgrade all that stuff.
Yeah, just on a 6 unit, we were adding a 7th unit. And one of the things that was required on the permit was to upgrade the service
to 400 or 600.
I don't remember, but it was 15,000.
Yeah,
was it at the time, and that was in 2017. So it's not today's price anymore. But that at the time, that's what it was.
Right, and along the same lines is the water service, right?
Yeah, and that they and that's real common here, where you have a lead pipe right coming in, and then it's like, great, this person's doing an upgrade, perfect to get the city to upgrade the pipe on your dime, but also needed where the water pressure could be low, and how long you want water running through lead pipes, you can avoid it. Nice. Yeah, then what about, let's say you're buying an investment condo. One thing that I've found interesting is now, like, a lot of folks will just go in and just inspect that unit.
Right.
What's your approach?
So that's called a paint to paint. In the inspection industry, it's called a paint to paint inspection, right? And a lot of inspectors feel that that helps limit their liability when they're not looking at the common areas. I think it's just the opposite, right? You got a client who's buying into a 3, 4, 6, 8, even a 10 or 12 unit condominium building. That's a lot of exposure, right? If something major needs to be done to that building. So I think it's incumbent upon any diligent inspector to look the entire building over as much as is accessible and reasonable. Obviously, in a high-rise purchase of a single unit in a high-rise building, you're not going to be crawling all over the outside. But on smaller buildings, you should be able to give your client a pretty good idea of what upcoming major expenses might be, because there's a lot of smaller condominium buildings in the city. We talked about leaking masonry, right? Single white concrete block construction, split face block.
Yeah.
That have been leaking for years and years and have never been properly fixed.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the Rise and Invest podcast. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. If you'd like to dive even deeper into real estate investing, check out our company's website, riseinvest.com. If you are an accredited investor, you can get started today as a passive investor in our multifamily investment opportunities by hitting the Invest Now button on our website.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of Drew Breneman and guests as of the date of recording and do not purport to reflect the views or opinions of Rise Invest Holdings LLC and its subsidiaries. The views and opinions are provided for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon or deemed as investment or tax advice or an offer to buy or sell securities, and the speaker cannot be held responsible for any direct or incidental loss incurred by applying any of the information offered.